What's going on, man?
How's it going, Rick? Long time no see.
I know, dude, been too long, but we're at the precipice of movie greatness once again with the Many Saints of Newark, man. I am so stoked, man, to talk to you about this. Thank you for inviting me.
Of course, man. You knew I couldn't, pass on the opportunity to talk about the Sopranos, and obviously there's the new Cobra Kai trailer that came out too. So definitely want to pick
Oh,
your brain
yes.
on that.
Sure.
Before we begin, though, I just have to say this. So you've officially passed Sean Kanan, aka Mike Barnes, as the four-time returning guest to Movie Junk. So you guys were
Yes.
previously tied. So I'm going to let him know, and then maybe you guys can settle it in this upcoming season of Cobra Kai in the dojo.
Maybe it could be, all the bad boys are going at each other. So who knows, man? All the fan theories are out there and you could pick them, man. You can write a million episodes, million different seasons. But yeah, Sean's a great guy, man. Great guy.
And Rick, I can't thank you enough. I know a lot has happened since the last time that you joined our channel. So you recently released an audiobook. We finally got to
Yes,
see you in Cobra Kai season 3 as Roger. You had a heated
that's
exchange with
right.
the LaRussos. And you also appear as Detective Leo Schmidt in The Secret She Keeps. So glad to see that you're keeping busy and can't wait to see some of your upcoming projects as well.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, so many great projects on the horizon, man. And that's right. I haven't spoken with you since all these projects came out, and yeah, just been very busy, very blessed. Thank goodness. Working actor is a good is to be in a good place, especially now with things starting to open up. And a lot of my fellow Cobra Kai actors are seeing a lot of work as well, Susan and so forth. So we'll see, man. Great stuff to report soon.
Absolutely. No, we can't wait. That's why I had to steal you, man. And we can just start with Cobra Kai. So it's been 5 days
Sure.
since the teaser dropped. There's already 1.4 million views on YouTube. So I know you had a chance to catch the trailer. What were your initial thoughts?
Oh, I was blown away, especially when you're trying to like slow mo everything to get every nuance. And when you see, you know, Terry Silver tighten up that ponytail, that was the one I was fixated on right there. That was a great shot. And again, they don't give away too much, but which is great. It allows the viewer to really get the gears moving and all the fan theories come out. And the writers love that. All the actors love it to see all the conspiracies being formulated from these teasers.
Yeah. I know it was just a matter of time before we saw Terry Silver. I know the creators are big fans of Terry Silver, and he was such a big part, obviously, in Karate Kid 3. And
Yeah,
again, I know we talked about this in the earlier interviews. He was always kind of like that, Palpatine, and we always saw Kreese kind of like Darth Vader. So it was just a matter of time before we see him. I think the possibilities of him, what the story can go are endless. So yeah,
indeed.
super.
I know Hayden was the big fan. He had mentioned that years ago. I think it was after season one that he was a big Terry Silver fan. So it's nice to see Thomas back on the cast, and rightfully so. I mean, it's going to be incredible how they kind of merge all these storylines, and now we get to see uh, how this plays out 30 plus years later from the original canon. It's going to be interesting.
I was also really excited to see, Daniel and Johnny and Kreese all in their geese. I mean, what are the chances of these guys? I know we're going back to the All Valley. Is there any chance that we can get these guys to have a rematch, even though they're friends now?
That would, if they had a senior or what do they call it, some kind of special tournament, maybe in Okinawa or something else, that would be interesting to see them go at it. The Grand Masters tournament, then you see Chosen maybe.
Oh yeah,
Who knows? That's a great point.
yeah. We'll make it like a blood sport, right? So it'll be something kind
Yeah,
of cool to see these guys. That's
I like
that's
to see. I like to see my friend Daryl Vidal come in. I want to see Grandmaster Sensei Daryl Vidal come in there.
Yeah, there's no way that they do that and not bring him back because they showed flashbacks in this last season of Cobra Kai to
Hmm.
Daryl Bell. They also showed Mike Barnes too. So I'm crossing my fingers that they introduce them in season 3 to hopefully bring them back in season 4. They're big fan favorites.
Oh, sure. I mean, Well, things have to be kind of fast forwarded, I would imagine, logically, if you think about it. Everybody's getting a little older.
Yeah,
Us, it doesn't really matter, but the kids are getting older.
yeah,
And Xolo just nailed a great role as Blue Beetle, as you know,
yeah.
for a upcoming DC movie. So he's got things going, and I'm sure all of these talented artists are going to be doing multiple projects. So hopefully, we'll see Cobra Kai for a couple more seasons. I'm crossing my fingers too.
Yeah. I don't know about you, but I got really excited, with Tori and Samantha, and just seeing them in action during this teaser. Do you think it's time that we finally get a girl to win the All Valley?
That is great, great. Somebody had mentioned that. I think it was another podcast. A viewer called and said, "Yeah, it should be a female this time. It would be nice." I've seen different speculations. I saw uh, who said somebody like they want to see maybe an underdog win, a real underdog. But yeah, to see the girls go at it in a nice cat fight, that'd be cool. That would be cool.
I know last time I asked, were you team Miyagi Do or team Cobra Kai? Now that we
Mhm.
finally got to see your appearance, are you? And you said team Cobra Kai. Are you still team Cobra Kai, or are you kind of
All the
a
way.
hybrid right
Oh,
now?
all the way. So I'm going to change my vote because last time I was asked, Could you be Eagle Fang? I'm like, yeah, maybe. In real life, yeah, you can see like a gray. I can dip in and out of each side, but I'm Cobra Kai, man, all the way.
Yeah, we
Is that
asked
bad?
that question. We asked that question to the pawn shop guy, and he said, "I'm team
Oh,
Miyagi Kai." And I was like,
Matt Berlengi, yeah, he's cool, man. He's so funny. That's a good answer, Matt. Good answer.
"You good one." And we're rooting to see you in season 4. I know you're probably really restricted on the things that you could say, but really excited to hopefully see you in season 4 as well. Any additional
Yeah.
expectations, just from a fan hat, that you're hoping to see in season 4 that we haven't seen in the earlier seasons?
Well, I'd like to see a Julie come back.
Oh yeah,
I'd like to see that, and because obviously they're opening up the universe to some of the other installments. So it'll be nice to see a Julie Pierce and see how that comes out as a wild card, maybe. And there's so many other characters they can play with. I like to see some of those backstories possibly evolve from this in case at some point there's going to have to be an end game.
yeah.
I think John Hurwitz had mentioned it in a previous tweet. There is an end game, but we have to see everything obviously come full circle, all the story arcs. But I like to see some backstories. That'll be really neat to see for sure.
Yeah, I definitely want to get back. I mean, some of my favorite parts of this last season were kind of the going back in time and the Vietnam War and seeing a young
Yeah,
Kreese and a young Terry Silver. I mean, that was just, for me, I'm also an 80. For me, I'm actually an 80s kid. I love these movies like Platoon. These Vietnam
hmm
movies. So I was kind of getting those type of feels. You know what I mean, like Apocalypse Now and those types of things. So I hope we get more of these
for sure.
backstory, which it seems like fans really love the performance of Jesse Cove as well. I think we're going to get to see
hmm
these guys again. I really hope we do.
Yeah, Jesse's a very talented actor, and I like to see more of that open up. That would be really good for the viewer, just to get more because we got like a little taste of it, and then of course that little twist of you thought it was Terry Silver, but it wasn't. You can see how he adopted the ponytail from his fallen comrade. That was a great twist, and again, that's goes from great. It comes from great writing. I love how the writers do what they do, and that's why the show's so successful today.
Absolutely, absolutely. And again, just being a big Cobra Kai fan, I can't, obviously thank you for just picking your brain on Cobra Kai. Now, just
Oh,
switching
thank you.
to the Many Saints of Newark, the Sopranos.
Ooh,
I'll be
absolutely.
honest. I mean, my fans know that I'm a huge Sopranos fan. I just came back from Mom Movie Con, Sopranos Con.
I know. I'm so jealous. I'm jealous. You know that.
I'm
Super jealous.
just being honest with you. I mean, as a Sopranos fan, it's like kind of being like a in the chocolate factory, and then just Willy Wonka giving you the ticket, and just boom, you get to see
Mm,
everybody. And that was awesome. I got to see Uncle Junior, Gigi, Eugene. I mean, you name them. And then plus, it wasn't just Sopranos Con; it was Mom Movie Con. So you had Armand
yeah.
Asante. Got to
Oh
see
yeah.
Eric Roberts. It was awesome. It was awesome. And I saw Uncle
Yeah.
Junior, like I mentioned. So yeah, it was
He's
unbelievable.
did he sing? Did he sing? Or was that another year? I thought he sang. He didn't sing this year, did he?
So this event, there was also the Mob Awards. So
Mm,
he went on stage. Also, Robert Miano, if you remember him as Sonny Red in Donnie
Yes.
Brasco. Fury, the actor that plays Fury, he actually introduced him. Federico introduced him, and he got to hear him sing. It was unbelievable. Like it was an award ceremony, but really you just got to see all. It felt like all these great actors and friends got to kind of unite, and it was just a show for them. So it was Ice-T, the MC.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it was awesome.
That's right. I saw him with a picture with Elaine Bracco. I did see that, so I didn't know he was the MC. That's pretty good.
Yeah, he was the MC of the event, so it was unbelievable, and especially after coming from like we're still technically going through COVID, but to be able to experience something like that, kind of post COVID, it was unbelievable, and I hope they continue to do it, and I'm sure they'll continue to do it every year.
Oh, sure. That looked like it was, and it was cool because these guys, they spent several seasons together. They're like a family, and to see them on their own Instagram or Facebook posts, just getting back together with folks I haven't seen in years, it was so nice, and you feel like you're part of it. You're part of that family. And I saw a lot of your pictures, man, and I tell you that it must have been incredible, great experience, I'm sure.
Yeah, no, definitely unbelievable. And yeah, they also announced, so it was a Friday, Saturday, Sunday event, but the Friday they did a Gotti event, and they announced that they're making a Gotti 2, the Armand Assante HBO Gotti film, which is highly regarded as one of the better, and one of the best mom movies that came out. So I'm excited to see where they take the story of Gotti 2.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. I saw the speculation. I was reading a lot about it, but then when I saw it, is actually been published now. It's confirmed. That's going to be very good. I mean, he's a consummate actor, incredible actor. I can't wait to see him perform again.
Yeah,
There's John Gotti.
And so now, I mean, I'm hoping they don't postpone the date again, but it seems like in October we're finally going to get the Many Saints of Newark. And I know we've been waiting, quite a few years for the release, and we finally got to see the trailer. What were your initial thoughts, and what do you think of Michael Gandolfini portraying young Tony?
I correspond with Michael quite often. Every time I think of his dad, on his passing every year, I feel so connected to Jimmy Gandolfini, just being that source as an emerging actor like myself. I have studied his performances from all his different movies, not only Sopranos, and just to be connected with Michael here and there, and I correspond, just explain to him how much his father meant to me as an actor. I mean, I'm just so happy for him. He looked like he just knocked it out of the park. His dad would be so proud of him. It's bittersweet. It really is. But I'm so happy to finally see, David Chase back and doing this, and he's doing this for us. I mean, the fans, we've been pining for this for years. I'm sure you agree. I'm so excited about the show. I really am, because when you see it, right, the Sopranos Story, I'm hoping that's one of many. It doesn't just end there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know about you, but just that part where that kid is like, "Hey, jerk off," and then Tony goes, "What'd you say?" And then you kind of see that he had that same facial and mouth expression that we used to see in Tony, and I had butterflies. I was like, "Man, I feel like I'm seeing him right now," and in a sense,
right.
I think
he has that same look of his dad.
Yeah, I think that was because remember in I think it was season 5 where Tony and Carmela were arguing, and then he was like, "You were there," I think it was it Freezy's or something when he beat up, and it was the guy that had the chain of drugstores and all that, and now we know that wouldn't suffice you. I'm wondering if that was Carmela, and then that was the fight.
They don't really say. Did they show who the actress who's playing a young Carmela? Do they have that on IMDb? I didn't, because they kind of keep it convoluted. You don't really see it. It'll say like, this it'll say actor. It doesn't tell you who they are. Not all of them. Did you notice that?
Yeah. A lot of the names aren't filled. Like like the young Jackie. Obviously we know who's playing Paulie. We know who's playing
Paulie.
So yeah, I mean, a lot of them are, but I don't know if the young Carmela. I'd have to double check because she's blonde.
I didn't see that.
Yeah,
but she may be, obviously later on she might be bottle blonde, but maybe she was, brunette when she was younger. I'm sure.
Yeah.
But, did at the Soprano Con, was Edie Falco there? Did you see her?
She wasn't there. No.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she wasn't there. Maybe she was busy. Like I would have loved to see Michael Imperioli, Steve
Oh,
Shariffa.
yes.
They they got their podcast, so maybe they were a little bit busy. But I would have loved to seen them, and obviously Edie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't wait for this to come out, man. It's so incredible to have we have from Audrey, she's playing Tony's mother. She's gonna knock it out of the park too. I mean, she's perfect. Whoever, I mean, they casted this perfectly. I have to say, they really did.
Yeah, I mean John Berthal, he that was just a perfect cast.
Hmm.
The actor that played Johnny Boy just recently passed away. You know, he was in Carlito
Yeah.
Day, and he just recently passed away. But yeah, I'm
Hmm.
excited to see how John Berthal plays. I mean, he's unbelievable in everything, and he's played a mobster a few times, so I'm sure he'll knock it out of
Hmm.
the park.
I thought he was gonna be Dickie Moltisanti at first when they were talking about who's gonna, the who's who. But for him to be, Tony's dad, that's awesome. It's gonna be really cool.
Yeah, I think Alessandro's gonna be awesome. I mean, just from seeing him in the few clips, obviously, just from The Sopranos, we knew that Tony and Dickie had this really close relationship.
Hmm.
I remember he was telling Melfi, what he was to me. And actually, this would be a good question to ask you. I've always felt that there was more to the Dickie and Tony story, especially when Tony sends Chris to go kill that detective. It
Hmm.
didn't feel right. It didn't feel like that was the guy that did it, or maybe he did, but there's more to the story. Do you think they'll dive into that a little bit in the Many Saints of Newark?
Well, that's a good question. I hope they do, because I mean, think about it. They just left that little snippet of, your father was like, he didn't call him the Terminator. He says your father took out the entire New England crew single-handedly, was what happened. I'm like, man, this guy must have been badass. So Tony obviously worshipped Dickie. But you know what I noticed too? I hate to go off on this tangent, but while I have it fresh in my head,
Yeah,
do you see the scene when Dickie's in prison talking to, is that his father or his brother?
that's Ray
Um,
Liotta,
Ray
and
Liotta's, because if you look at the cast, it's his Aldo Hollywood Dick,
yeah.
right? Moltisanti. So
So
who is he?
what I heard is he's Dickie's father.
Okay, so that's the father. Wow.
Yeah, that's
They go
that's what I
back.
heard. Because you could see that he's got the grays when he's in jail, so
Hmm.
obviously time has
Right.
changed, and there's a significant kind of age, at least the way they look. So I think it's
Hmm.
his father, and I've heard it that Hollywood Moltisanti is Christopher's grandpa. I think actually Michael
Oh
Imperioli may have
man.
said that actually.
That is so good, man. I mean, again, you're gonna find out more of the origins and how his father landed in jail. So that's gonna be really cool to see what happens there. So there's so many different ways they can take this in different tangents. I'm hoping we get to see Burt Young's character when he was young,
Terminator.
because he was the one, right? He was the Terminator. So come on, man. So many more stories to just unfold. I can't wait.
What about when Tony and young Jackie go and take Feach's card game? That's what
Oh,
I'm really anticipating seeing.
that is going to be really neat to see that. And I think they showed which actor was going to play Feach, right? Did they show that on IMDb? If
I've
I'm not
been digging.
mistaken.
I don't think there's a Feach. I was going through to see who might look like him or who has a mustache. I don't know. I haven't
Hmm.
looked at it recently. I don't know if they actually put the name in there, but I haven't seen it
Yeah.
yet.
Well, I would hope that it happens around that, because that's got to be the same time sequence, the '60s. It has to be when they turned over Feature's card game. It had to be.
Well, if you remember, I think it was who was telling the story. It was in season 4. It was before season 5. Oh no, it was Ralphie. He goes when he was telling Jackie Jr. the story. There was this young mustache named Feach Lamanna, and he was an old timer. He was made from back home, so he actually came from Italy, is what it
Hmm.
sounds like. So I'm not
Yes.
sure if he. I imagine he'd be here in the '60s,
Yeah.
and that's yeah, because he was young. He was probably a teenager, probably Jackie Jr.'s age when he did it, and I think that's when we see
Sure.
young Tony.
Well, do you remember the sequence? I wonder if they're going to be bringing out any of the characters, as they kind of alluded to in the sequence when Tony's father takes his sister to the carnival. Remember, they get busted. The clown, they're taking him out in the paddy wagon. Remember that?
Oh yeah, yeah.
And all those guys getting busted. I wonder if some of those guys they're going to reveal in the Many Saints, because it's around the same time sequence.
Yeah, because I had butterflies, when I saw everybody in the pork store, Joey Diaz. Uh,
Oh yes,
is there any chance that he might be Big Pussy's dad? Or who do you think he
it
might be?
could be. It could be. It could be. But then they also have Pussy Malanga, right? He might be in there.
There's Pussy Malanga also. And I know we talked about Ray Liotta earlier, but I think
Hmm.
he was originally cast as Tony, and I think he had turned it down. So it's good to
Really?
see him kind of back. I know he was originally cast, or at least they wanted him to be in the role, and I think he turned it down. And I think I also saw an interview that Chaz Palminteri was also offered the role. I mean, everything kind of
Ooh,
works out for itself.
yeah.
I think James Gandolfini, that role was meant for him. But how
Hmm.
different could it have been if, say, Ray Liotta or Chaz Palminteri took on the role?
Well, that would have been a nice twist. But then you hear things like that happen in Hollywood all the time. Folks were cast for something originally, and then they turned it down for another project. But then the person that actually took it was the right fit because you could never see, like you could never see Will Smith as Neo in The Matrix. He passed it up to do Wild Wild West. And
Yeah.
then you have Keanu Reeves, which and this I'm sure will play itself out, but it doesn't. It's not to say that they won't make other ones because you have a lot of you have a lot of great Italian American actors that are still out there. You have my friend Joe D'Onofrio, which I'm sure you've met. Willie DeMeo is another great actor that played Sammy the Bull, and with John Travolta. They have so many great actors still out. Paul Borghese, my friend Paul. Did you meet Paul over there?
Yeah, we did an interview about a week before, so I had a chance
That's right.
to meet him. And then I also
So
met
there's
him.
so many different great guys out there that are definitely open to projects. So hopefully, I'm praying, man, that David Chase will not, hang up the pen just yet. Please, David. So many different stories to be heard.
Yeah, I mean, Paul Borghese also, he was in season 2 of Sopranos. Do you remember the
Oh
scene?
yeah,
Remember where the scene where Tony passed out, and then there was a guy
yeah, the
talking
Union.
yeah, about the Union. So yeah, he was in there, and then also Will DeMeo was in there for a few seasons. He was awesome. I would have
Yeah,
loved to see Joe D'Onofrio on Sopranos. Like, he should have been
yeah.
there. Can you imagine him being part of the New York family?
Oh, that'd been so cool. Again, just like a little crossover Easter egg from like Goodfellas into, I would love to see Joey's such a great guy. I love Joe D'Onofrio. I mean, he's fantastic. And again, these guys gel and they work together in other projects. Joey's doing some stuff in New York, and they're all working. They always work together. They're a tight knit family in New York. I like to get in one of their projects at some point there. I saw Jesse Cove was with Willie DeMeo. He just did a season 2 of Gravesend. Did you see that?
Mm-hmm.
Um, so there's so many different, but these guys are great actors, man. There's so many. We just need to get great writing to back that up. But the players are right in line, man. We're all ready to grab on and latch onto some of these great projects, but we need writers. That's it. Good writing.
Yeah, season 2 of Gravesend. I mean, they added so many, just amazing actors to it. I've been
Hmm.
following it, and season 1 of Gravesend was really good on Amazon Prime.
Hmm.
I actually, I chat with Golden Mayo. I'd love to get him on one day. That'd be awesome. But just following, all the amazing cast that they've added. I mean, Gravesend just needs to be a movie too, man. I love if they can make that into a movie one day. But their cast is unbelievable.
Absolutely. Oh yeah. So there's again the folks that are kind of the Italian American genre there. They're still working. They're still chomping at the bit to make new projects. So and they all know each other. I mean, they do cross paths from time to time, and it'll be nice to see that come back a little bit because we need some more stuff coming out. It doesn't have to be Netflix. Everything Netflix. It's just we need new content. We need some exciting drama series to follow again. I miss Sopranos. That's why I go back to it every like. My wife drives me. She's like, "You driving me nuts. You're watching Sopranos again from season 1." Yes, that's my master class. That's what I do every other month or so. I just pop in the DVDs. I sit down. I just study, 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 study.
Are there any movies that you're anticipating? I know there's some awesome stuff coming out like Ghostbusters 3. We talked about the Many Saints
Oh
of.
yeah.
Are there any other movies that you're just kind of waiting to see before the end of the year?
Uh, let's see. I want to see Spider-Man. Like
Oh
to see
yeah,
that come. I'm excited to see that. But the Many Saints, that's been on my calendar like yourself since last year. I mean, it was supposed to air, I think it was April of last year before COVID.
yeah, yeah.
So I mean, we've been waiting for this a long time. But you know what? It's going to be the juice will be worth the squeeze for sure because I'm sure it's going to be fantastic. David Chase, come on. I mean, you know, it's incredible too. David Chase has been a writer for a very, very long time. If you look at his history, I was watching an old '70s show. I think it was not Barnaby Jones. It was something from like the late '70s. He was a writer back then. And can you imagine his best work came in the late '90s with Sopranos? It's just amazing. This man was a genius, waiting to just waiting for his opportunity to take place, and we're the beneficiaries of it all because Sopranos goes by far into American cinema. I mean, Americana cinema history. It's one of the greatest shows of all time, in my opinion. And you're with me, I hope. I'm sure you are.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I hear folks, mention, other names. You know what I mean? Like, there's just a ton of other shows. I mean, you can argue Seinfeld,
Yeah.
Games of Thrones, these types of things. But if you look at, top-rated TV shows on most, reports, Sopranos is always number one. And
oh yeah, Breaking Bad. There's so many different ones. Yeah.
Breaking Bad is my one that I can I still have Sopranos over it, but shows like Breaking Bad were created. The Antihero was created from Sopranos, and a lot of those, creators and actors would say the same. There was a bunch of folks from Breaking Bad at Mom Movie Con too. Actor that plays Gustavo Fring, he was there.
Yes.
Walter Jr. was there. The two twins, the two twins, the Salamanca twins.
Salamanca twins, yeah.
Those guys look scary in person, man.
I saw some people taking pictures. You see them like behind them with the silver axe, it's like, but these guys they were cast perfectly too. They're real brothers, I think, right, in real life?
If I'm not mistaken, they're twins.
Twins, yes.
If I'm not mistaken,
that was a great
twins.
call.
Yeah, so yeah, no, they're awesome. I was able to sneak in a picture with Walter Jr. and
he looks great.
Yeah, he was super nice, and then Gus also too. But they were both really, really nice. I wish I was able to go in to take a picture with the twins. I didn't get a chance to.
Oh yeah, man, that must have been something else. I tell you, because when I lived in New York, it was easier. I could get to Jersey fast. But I just so booked. I had, my son had an appendectomy as of recently, and I was telling you about it on the side. So I was really tied up, man, over the 4th of July week, for sure. I was really tied up with family issues. So thank God that's behind us now. He's doing well. But yeah, we're back to work. Like what Tony says, doing great, back to work. With no BS.
Yeah. I know you're a big Scorsese fan also. Have you been following Killers of the Flower Moon at all with De Niro?
Yes. There's a few actors I know that made they made minor roles for that movie. That's going to be incredible, man. The book came out in 2017, I believe, and I mean, I think it's when the FBI kind of really came out. I think that's kind of the genesis of the whole storyline, I believe. Is that correct?
Well, this is more with the, if I'm not mistaken, I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly, the Osage tribe, with the Indians, and De Niro is playing this like crooked politician. I think Leo is in the FBI where they're going in to investigate these murders that are taking place. Jesse Plemons,
he's the FBI agent?
He's an agent or a cop, or I think he's an FBI agent, and he's the one that's going in to investigate, some of these Indian murders that were taking place. I think De Niro is the villain. I think Jesse Plemons might also be a villain as well. Brendan Fraser just joined the cast. I think he's playing an attorney. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if you saw, but De Niro tore his hamstring filming this movie.
I heard he did get hurt, and I know he lost some weight too. He was working on his weight. He had mentioned in an interview. That was before he had gotten cast. So it's gonna be nice to see. But again, these guys are up there in age a little bit. It's difficult. They want to do their own, not stunts so much, but they want to be, in front of the camera at all times, even for some of these motion action shots. But it's nice to see that he's still in the game doing his thing.
Yeah. I wanna pick your brain on every movie, but I want to save it so we can bring you back and say you're the only 5-time returning guest. But I also want to talk about some of your upcoming projects. I'm going to keep digging at you to give me some Cobra Kai answers. But can you share any of your upcoming projects that we can be expecting?
Yes. Absolutely. So COVID obviously put a damper on a major project that I'd signed on. It's a possible 3-movie deal. The first installment's called Tomorrow's Taken. It's by director Michael Hall, and we should be filming. We should have been filming this year, but everything is right now has unfortunately been taken back. It's a European production being filmed here, so I was cast with Tomorrow's Taken. It's on IMDb, so there's no secrets there. But I'm excited for that project. It's going to be incredible.
Awesome.
Incredible.
Awesome. Yeah, no, definitely. I'm excited to see it when it comes out. And yeah, as soon as we, hear any additional news for, hopefully Cobra Kai, I'm going to be
Cobra Kai.
And once it's official, and yeah, excited to see, your new film, and excited to see that you're continuing to stay busy. And yeah, definitely want to hear more about your projects.
Absolutely. And for the record, the hardest project I've ever taken on is our audiobooks. Let me tell you, that was a tremendous drain on my brain at my age. I mean, it's very, very difficult. I tip my hat to all voiceover actors who do audiobooks. Very difficult, very challenging, but very, very rewarding, because that filled that gap in my on my resume. I've never done that before, and I had gotten one right after the other. So it was really fun. They're doing very well. You can stream them on audiobooks and scribd.com. So I have 2 of them out there, and hopefully more, I was told, to come. So we'll see how that goes. And you never know where that takes you. Sometimes I can maybe do some voiceover for maybe cartoons or video games. Sky's the limit. I know my friend Matt Borlengi had gotten a voiceover for a video game.
Oh yeah.
So I mean,
the Mafia game.
We're always doing different. Yeah, Mafia. So it all depends where the opportunities lay, but we're always open for different things and challenging ourselves. And we're just very grateful to be continuously working in the field that we love so much. And we want to thank you all for following us and just giving us that much needed positivity to continue doing what we do best, and to bring great cinema to your homes and to the movie screens again. So I'm excited to see the valve open up again. We're getting a lot of auditions and a lot of projects out there. Again, we are even signed to NDAs for projects that we're not even cast to, but by just auditioning, you have to sign them nowadays. Everything's very top secret, but a lot of great movies and shows are coming.
Absolutely. No, I'm really excited. Like I mentioned, just to see Hollywood kind of turn back on, and just seeing movies come out. Even the big distribution companies are taking risks by releasing films now, because they know they're going to take a little bit of a hit. They're not going to make as much as they would have, obviously, if it was pre-COVID. But at least we're getting this content, and also this time that all these talented writers and actors, the content that they created, because you got these guys locked in a home, they're in quarantine. Think about all the content that they've been able to create during this time. I'm really excited for next year and the year after, the movies that we're going to get. And yeah, hopefully it just opens up more doors and more opportunities, and fans like me can tune into this wonderful content for many years.
Absolutely. I hope to see you at some point at one of these cons. And so many of the other folks have been so just warm and convivial to the actors. Even as a minor role in Cobra Kai, like myself, it's just been overwhelming, the support from the fans throughout the world. I mean, it's just an incredible experience. I'm very grateful and thankful for you all.
Yeah, you have an incredible fan base. Obviously, a big fan base on Instagram. There's no way that we're gonna see more of you. There's no way that, I think that was a buildup for something bigger in the coming seasons. So I can't wait to see where your story takes off, if it eventually goes into a sub story. I know the creators have talked about doing different sub stories or different characters. So we're really excited. You were amazing, and can't wait to see your future works.
Thank you. From your mouth to God's ears. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Rick. I want to just thank you again for joining. I literally can talk to you about any movie, and I just have a blast talking with you. And once we get a little closer,
thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, and I was going to say, once we get a little closer to the Many Saints of Newark, we definitely got to do this again.
Absolutely. We got to get Chris Caldovino back on there, man, my buddy. He'd love to talk about it, I'm sure.
That was a blast. That was a blast. I want to just, get the show, log in, sit back, and just have you guys talk to each other.
That'd be awesome, man. Hey, thank you so much for having me on your show again. Thank you to all your fans, and thank you for the support. Much appreciated.
Thank you, Rick. Thank you very much. Take care.
You too, brother.
We'll see you.